Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo. Ready, set.
We are here off the bench. I got the very special KG Killer 500K. What's up, KG?
Let's go. Hey, what's going on?
And I am Kali Somerville, your host today. For the first time, I've never been a host.
Oh, this is exciting.
Hostess with the mostest.
Let's go.
But I have the very special pleasure of introducing my business partner, Karyn Giles, VP of FFL High Voltage.
Yes.
How are you doing today, Karyn?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. So, Karyn, how long have you been? Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been with FFL?
So I've been with FFL for 3 years, a little over 3 years, in a couple months. And I come from a practice company.
Okay.
Right? They're 6 years, way too long. The cool thing is you told me about it, but I didn't say yes right away.
Right.
Some events had to happen in order for me to figure out where I was supposed to be, which is here. So, I wasn't making any money.
Okay.
And then I went back to bartending. COVID happened. They shut all the bars down.
And you had to come to FFL.
I had to come to FFL. Like, there was no other option. It was like, yeah. You were like, you're about to get it. You're about to what? You were working.
Right.
No. You need to come over here.
that.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
You have a license.
Yeah,
We're going to use
exactly.
it. So, best decision I've ever made. Very uncomfortable. But
Hold on. Still pause there. What made it uncomfortable? Because you were already in insurance, right?
Yeah.
So, because people just have the tendency to think we come here and we're just like, oh my God, just kill it, right? What made it uncomfortable for you?
everything about it. Number one, 100%. I mean, even though I did 100% commission for 6 years.
And you weren't making any commission.
And I wasn't making any commission. So like really just selling whole life, which I had all these companies going from selling one product, one company to all these companies we represent, all these different types of products, actually having to unlearn everything I thought I already knew about insurance, right? And really start out as a brand new licensed agent that has never seen insurance before, which I've never seen this before, right? And then getting uncomfortable, like back against the wall, like the wall was all I had. There was nothing in my account.
Right.
So really just, saying, forget it. Forget whatever I think that's, any negativity or anything, and just going hard at it. Like not thinking about what's not working and filling that mindset with activity. And filling that with activities so that I didn't think about what could go wrong.
Right.
Because I knew the only thing that I could control was my attitude and activity. And if I had enough activity, I'd be excited with my attitude.
Right.
Because I have people to go help.
Right.
So I made Panera Bread my office.
Yeah.
And I was
at the beginning.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
It felt like it took me forever to go through contracting, but that's okay. I was going through contracting and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get this down. There was no live dials. There was not me getting to an office that was not yet, at least, because the office was an hour and 10 minutes away, but I had spent the last of my money going out in the field with you for a day.
So you didn't have any gas money to get to the office.
I didn't have any gas money to get to the office. So I was like sun up to sundown, like just going over the script, learning, just seeing who I could touch point, who needed life insurance, who got declined from the last company. I was really just like organized chaos.
And I think you forget this part. Remember, you didn't have enough money to pay your down payment for your E&O either.
I did not. So I borrowed the money from you.
Half from me and half from your
you
dad.
and half from my dad. And I was like, when I get this money back, I promise you I'm paying y'all back.
Yeah, and you did.
And I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I helped my first family, which was so scary because I had, got a check, and it was like for over $600. And I was like, bills, leads, bills. And I'm like, this is what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust everything they said, because I saw people winning at a high level. Like, this was not for play.
Right.
I saw the group chat. And I'm like, I know I could be better than anybody on that group chat.
Yes.
This is the way I was thinking.
No, it's good.
Yeah. So, and then once I started that first check with my lead flow, I never had an issue with it again.
And that was 3.5 years ago.
3.5 years ago.
Right. So, and then now, right, fast forward, you have an office. Yeah. Right. Not in a Panera Bread any longer.
No.
You have a team. Mm-hmm. It's not just you. And your biggest month In families, what was your biggest month that you've been with FFL personal?
42 families.
42 families in 1 month, right? Yeah. And a company we came from, if you were doing 20 as a team, you were crushing it.
That's right.
Right? But you did 42 on your own pen.
On my own pen.
In 1 month.
In 1 month.
Wow. Yeah. So that's a huge difference, right? Yeah. That's the number one. I mean, that's one of the main differences is that we help a lot of families and we can help a lot of people that we couldn't help before.
That's so true.
Right? So prime example, I couldn't help my father with just because he had high blood pressure and diabetes, right? Insulin dependent diabetic. At the other company, he couldn't get covered, right? Yeah. And I didn't know that we could have easily got him a whole life policy. And if we would have had $10,000 when he passed away, that would have made a big difference for me and my sisters.
Yeah.
Well, for my sister, because I couldn't help her pay because I was broke.
Right.
Right. Working with the other company.
The crazy part is when I used the last of my gas money to drive to your Blue Room.
Yep. So I can meet you, in my Lyft car, right? Yeah, to go on an appointment because at that time I was still driving Lyft. I still had a Lyft car, right? Because that was that was March of 2020.
That's crazy.
That was the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah, and then you helped my dad, and I was like, wait a minute,
that part.
So we're covering people that can't get covered with term,
right?
And they can get a immediate policy for an affordable rate.
Yep.
I was blown away.
Yep. So the good thing, that's the best part, is that yes, we learned, we couldn't cover my dad, but while you were still over the practice company, I was like, I can cover your dad over here. And
I was like, for real?
Yep. He was probably one of my very first clients. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just because you couldn't get him covered with the other company. So that's strong. What would you say is the biggest difference between your mindset getting started here and a lot of other people that get started? Like, what do they need to do to level up their mindset? Because we're not doing any physical work. We're not digging ditches. We're not we're not lifting anything, but we're doing a lot of reps with our mind, our mental, right? Yeah. So what do you think is the biggest difference? Like, what has set you apart from other people and allowed you to stay in this business for 10 years, right? Yeah. Because the average agent, did you know that only 92%, only 8% of agents make it through their first year in life insurance?
That's
yeah.
So when I think about me and I'm like, okay, this is rare.
Right. 10 years later. So what do you think is, because it has to be something with your mindset, right? Yeah. So what do you think is different?
Compared to other people, I know that people are moved based off the fear of loss and the hope of gain. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can tell them all the things that they'll win, but I knew for me, if I didn't do this, I would have lost everything. My car, maybe, you know what I mean? Even though my mom was helping me take care of my son, she has her own life, right? She was already
in her own bills.
In her own bills. So I just knew I didn't want to be pushed that far behind financially. I didn't want to lose. So I think for people, they have to either put themselves in the most uncomfortable situation, because I didn't have a plan B, right? Because I don't think if COVID didn't happen or if they didn't shut down all the bars, I probably wouldn't be as far as I am right now.
No.
So, but to get people's mindset right, that's all we did in the practice company. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I did it for so long and I've been through so much worse. I was like, it can't get any worse than this.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think the people who have not been in that position where they have been brainwashed to be positive for so long, what do they do, right? And it's picking up a book, staying uncomfortable, picking up a book about mindset, getting in an environment, getting into an office, because I think that was really important. Once I started making money, I got to the Bel Air office. I got to the Bel Air office, and I was coming once every Monday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting into an environment with like-minded people who are, winning at a high level, hearing what they're saying, what they're doing, because this is a copycat business. Mm-hmm. And you got to be careful who you copycat, because you can be in the FFL business and not be in the FFL business. Yeah. And we learned that in the practice company, right? Yeah. Because there's different levels. You could be really with the people who have a negative mindset, who aren't working, who aren't getting results, and you can be just like them. Or you could be around the people who have what you want, get uncomfortable, do what they're doing, put the activity in, be consistent and persistent, and win at a high level. Because I'm not anything special. You and I are not special.
Right. Yeah.
We're just good at our schedule, and we're good at being consistent and we're good at staying positive, and we're good at not giving up.
Yeah, that part. That last part.
We're good at not giving up. And maybe we make it look too sweet.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? But what I do know is, like, if we didn't make it look sweet, you may not stick around.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then I think and people don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? They don't think that we go through any challenges or, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we absolutely do. Like every single day. Like you had some personal stuff pop up today, right? But you didn't leave the office. No. You didn't say, I can't do this today. Like you took care of whatever you needed to take care of personally.
And you just have to have faith.
And then you were like, okay, now I got to get back to work, because at the end of the day, if you had a McDonald's, right, you couldn't be like, oh my God, I'm so, I can't do it today because my pinky hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to push through the hard stuff no matter what's going on.
And just like you say, too much is given, much is required.
Too much is given, much is required.
Like the people who experience the biggest blessings are usually those who have put in the most work, have
had the biggest setbacks.
And have the biggest setbacks and have gone through the biggest things. So you got to decide what size you want your blessing to be, because it's all to determine what size your faith is and your schedule and what you think about yourself. So I get scared when I start to feel less about myself, because then that's when my bank account drops. So,
say that again.
Yeah. So I can't say it again. It just came naturally. But every time that I thought negative or doubted myself, I fight so hard to stay out of that bubble, because every time I've ever thought that way, everything went left. My bank,
So the amazing KG killer, sometimes doubts herself.
Sometimes it's not always amazing.
Okay, let's talk because again, people think like we're up every single day.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you're in that place, right? Because we all have it.
Yeah.
Where we're kind of like, sometimes I know for myself, like I'm like, does this really work? If I'm having a bad day, nobody's answering the phone. Nobody, I'm not booking appointments.
Is this supposed to be? Does God want me here?
Yeah.
Like you start asking, like you start asking your faith, like is this where I'm supposed to be? Like
maybe I should go get a job.
Maybe I should go get a job. You know what I mean? Like no.
But so what do you do? Like because I think one of the big differences, especially doing this for so long, is that we have those thoughts, but we don't sit there. Yeah. Right. So what do you do to switch flip that switch very quickly so you don't stay in that space?
I go to work. Because again, the only thing you can control is, I like to worry about the things that I can control. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need any other stress.
Got you. Yeah.
So like if my schedule is booked and it's packed and I'm going to work, I don't have time to think about what's not working or what's going wrong.
Right.
Because I know if I keep the faith and I keep doing the right things will happen.
Facts.
But if I talk negatively and I don't go to work, I'm going to feel even worse about myself, because now I'm sitting way too long in my fear and my doubt. And we all talk about that little voice in our head, right? For some people, if you let that voice talk to you too long, or you sit in your situation too long, you'll start talking yourself out of the things you're really supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
Right? And there's we can get better at it in all areas of our life. Because, even sometimes I might wake up and I'm like, dang, I should have worked out this morning. Now I start feeling bad, right?
Yeah.
But you need people and you need things to hold yourself accountable.
We're talking about on our Monday, or not, I keep on calling Monday, on our morning call. Accountability.
That's why it's important, like you said, to have an accountability partner, somebody that's going to be there to say, did you do that? Did you get this done today? Like, I did this. What did you, what have you done today? Like, accountability is big. You can't do this business by yourself.
Yeah.
So you might be you might be an independent contractor, but you're definitely not in business by yourself. Like, we're all here to help. And the amazing part, I wish everybody knew, like, you don't have to be alone. Like, you could get on live dials, you can get on the morning motivation. There's so many things that you can plug into, so you don't feel like that you're by yourself. But you also realize too, you're not the only one going through something.
That part.
Because you're either in something, going in something, or coming out of something.
Absolutely.
The question is, the people who, like people like us and other people who are winning at a high level, the only reason why it seems like we're separated, because we respond differently.
That's good.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't sit there.
You're right.
We might have a 5-minute moment. I might go in the bathroom. I might sit in the car. I might cry a little bit. I might cry at night for a hot second. And it's like, KG.
Wipe those tears and get...
Killer. Get yourself... Okay, got it. What we got to do today? Because there's people counting on you.
Yeah, for sure.
And you never know what person, and I look at it like this. I never know what person I'm missing that I needed to deliver a check to, but I can't deliver that check if I sat in that bubble that I wasn't supposed to be in and I missed that appointment or I missed that phone call.
That's so good. So before we wrap up, what is the one piece of advice you would give somebody who's brand new to insurance or brand new to, doesn't matter, insurance period? Like what would be that one piece of advice? What do they need to do to be successful?
I'd say be a student of the business.
Okay.
Right? Because I see so many people like, I don't have nobody coaching me. I don't have a coach. Look, when a student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Facts.
Because I know for me, if I see somebody trying and I see somebody working and I see somebody putting in the effort, I'm going to reach out to them. So if nobody's reaching out to you, guys, go to work. We have a system in place that's designed for you to win, and all you got to do is follow it. And then I always say this to everyone: before you're great, you got to be good. And before you're good, you got to be bad. And before you're bad, you got to be horrible. And before you're horrible, you have to at least try. And you beat 50% of people by showing up and trying.
Just by showing up.
Because like you said, the numbers, like how many people actually make it?
No, it's not hardly any.
Your first 18 months are going to be a disaster.
Yeah,
right?
For real.
But the cool part is you get to earn while you learn.
Mm-hmm. And earn at a very high clip.
Exactly.
Only here at FFL, not anywhere else.
Not anywhere else.
But that's it. That's all we got for today. So this was Off the Bench with Karyn Giles and Kylie Somerville. Great work, girl.
Yes,
Glad
girl.
to be in business with you.
Let's get it.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo. Ready, set,